Hi, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. I'm Louie. Today we're talking about responding to sensations. If you haven't watched the 2 introductions to this section, Getting to Great, I encourage you to do so. One introduction is to mapping your experience, and the second introduction is to responding to your experience, which is where we are now. Today we're talking about responding to sensations in the body. I use the term somatic restructuring to talk about this. And somatic is a term that seems to have been adopted by the therapy field for this type of therapy. If you find these skills helpful, you may want to work with a therapist that does somatic therapy. There are many, many different types, many variations, and many of them can be helpful. I was introduced to this type of work back at the beginning of my journey when I was practicing Tai Chi and found it to be helpful for my own psyche. And I think some of these tools you will find helpful. First, we talk about mindfulness of your sensations and your setting, which is a really important anchoring point, taking the principles from the being beyond and applying them to our sensations. And then we talk about what I'm calling somatic restructuring, which is similar to when we talk about cognitive restructuring, paying attention to your thoughts and shifting them. You can many times also pay attention to your sensations and shift them. So we're talking about a number of different skills in this section. The connecting to calm skills, there's a reminder about how those skills are really useful to bring down intensity, and many of them help with somatic experiences and sensations and can help to soothe the body. We talk about mindful breath and give a basic overview of breath and breathing and how that can have an effect on your experience of your body. We talk about mindful posture and how one's posture, strangely, but in reality, can have an effect on your emotional state and the state of your thoughts. We talk about what I call mindful holding, which has to do with practice of holding postures or muscles in a slight bit of tension to increase energy and groundedness and centeredness. Talk about mindful movement, the experience of movement in a general sense, and how that has an effect on your feeling of embodiment in your body and your emotions. Talk about the use of sound and how that can have an effect on how you feel in your body. And we talk about imagination, 2 different types of use of imagination. And we've talked about that in terms of cognitive restructuring with thoughts, but actually imagination can sometimes have a direct effect on the body or can be a way to speak with the body. And then finally, we talk about subtle energy, which some people may be interested in, some people not, but I felt I had to mention it because it's absolutely been a part of my experience. I think you will find this section helpful. And again, if you do find certain aspects of this helpful, consider working with a therapist that practices somatic therapy. And thank you for listening.